What's going on, guys? In this one we're going to be making a quick, simple and absolutely delicious breakfast frittata, which is a great way to use up any leftover veggies or meats that you may have. Obviously for this one I've created a recipe for you, but by all means change and swap, adding in all of your favorites. Please sit back, relax and enjoy. Alright guys, to start the prep for this dish, here is one small red bell pepper or capsicum for us Australian folk, and with this slice it in half through the core and tear out the core using your hands, and also pick out the pith as this part is bitter. Also, to remove any excess seeds, just give it a bang on your bench and they should simply just come on out. Let's then slice the halves into thin to medium sized strips, and the size is up to you, but the thinner they are the quicker they'll cook, and with the strips come through and dice these up again into small to medium sized pieces. Next, grab yourself one large brown or yellow onion, to which we want to slice off the tip, leaving the root intact, and slice through the root, cutting it in half. After it's been peeled and the scraps have been saved for a stock, create thin slices stopping just before the root, slice through horizontally to break up the formation, then come through and dice this into small little pieces, trimming off any excess flesh from around the root and save the root for a stock. Now here we have two chorizo sausages with a combined weight of 200 grams or 7 ounces, and you can prepare these however you'd like to, but in my opinion the best way is to slice these in half, then slice them into quarters, rotate them 90 degrees, and dice into small bite-sized pieces. With 3 large freshly peeled garlic cloves, slice them in half, rotate them 90 degrees and thinly slice them into small half-moon shaped pieces. Then here is 5 grams or 0.2 ounces of flat leaf parsley, which we're going to scrunch into a tight bunch and give it a good old rough chop. This is going to be used as a garnish, so it doesn't have to be super fine, and it can also be left out if you don't want to have to buy a whole bunch just for such a small amount that's needed. Last but not least, crack 5 large free-range eggs into a mixing bowl, add in 2 tablespoons or 40 milliliters of thickened cream, which is optional, it just adds a nice little creamy and velvety texture. Then using a fork, beat the eggs until everything is smooth, then we can just pop this aside for the time being. Now to get this cooking, place a pan onto your stovetop over a medium-high heat, add in 1 tablespoon or 20 milliliters of olive oil, and once hot, add in the diced onions along with the chopped garlic, then saute this for 3 to 4 minutes, stirring it regularly or until slightly soft and lightly golden. Next, we can add in the diced chorizo, 1.5 teaspoons or 2.5 grams of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of sea salt flakes, and of course, 1 teaspoon or 10 cracks of black pepper. Let's then continue sauteing this for 3 minutes to allow the oils to be released from the chorizo and to get the maximum flavor enhancement from the smoked paprika. 3 minutes later, add in the diced bell pepper, 220 grams or 7.7 ounces, which is 1 can of cooked chickpeas, and half a teaspoon or 1 gram of ground cumin for a nice warm and earthy flavor. Give this all a good mix to allow those flavors to become friends, and cook this for 5 minutes, mixing it regularly. Once that's done, add 120 grams or 4.2 ounces of baby spinach on top and let it sit for 45 seconds or so just to soften up before twisting it into the other ingredients. The steam will soften it up, making this step a lot easier, as if we were to twist it in straight away, we'll end up with most of it on the stovetop. Anyway, once that's in, continue cooking for 1 minute just until the spinach is completely mixed through and is nice and soft. We can now pour in the beaten eggs, with or without cream, depending on what you chose. Then using some tongs, spread it out to make sure it's evenly distributed around the pan to cover all of the other ingredients. If you can, don't play around with it too much here, as we don't want to scramble the eggs, and all we want for it to do is start cooking around the edges to create a seal for the other ingredients, and this will take roughly 1.5 minutes. Now that that's all done, this can be transferred to a preheated oven set on grill or broil at 190 degrees Celsius or 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and allow it to do its thing for 5 minutes or until puffy, golden and fluffy. Once golden and fluffy, place it onto a heat-resistant surface for 10 minutes to set before very gently and carefully running a spatula around the edges to loosen it, also giving it a little jiggle to ensure that it's not stuck, but it really shouldn't be stuck at all, so there's no need to worry about that. Now the next step is to remove this from the pan, and I find it easy to place a spatula under the frittata and gently tip it out, but you can also place a plate on top and serve it upside down. Let's now garnish this up with the flat leaf parsley we prepared earlier, crack over a little black pepper for a nice little pop, sprinkle over some sea salt flakes to get us salivating, drizzle with some extra virgin olive oil because why not, then come through and place over some snow pea sprouts, which is completely optional, but I think it makes this look so fresh and tasty. After that's all done, we're then left with this beautiful frittata that's got so much flavour going on from the chorizo, the smoked paprika, the cumin, and of course the other ingredients, but those three really do make this dish taste incredible. With this now, we can then serve this up right away or allow it to firm up in the fridge overnight, which is completely up to you, but with whichever way you do this, make sure to slice it evenly into 4 large pieces, 6 medium-sized pieces, or 12 small pieces, leaving us with this beautiful frittata that we can then serve up, and to make this all worthwhile, we can then dig in. So there we have it. This recipe right here serves 4, 6, or 12 people, depending on how big you cut it, and it can easily be eaten on its own. It's completely up to you. To store it, you can place it in the fridge for 5 days and in the freezer for up to 12 months, and to reheat it, you can place it in the oven set on 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and just heat it up till it's nice and hot, which will take roughly about 10 minutes, or you can place it in the microwave, but it will become a little bit soggy if you do it this way. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. It really does help my channel out, and consider subscribing along with hitting that bell notification next to it so you never miss one I upload. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe and enjoy.